I just got back not long ago from work, a little bit tired. I had to do some editing for not just the redo on the slot fill, but for my save file on SD because yes, I'm still playing that game and I still enjoy it. Anyhow, let's go over the deck really quick before we get started with the free battle. I've already got the battle with Goku ready to go. So we have a bit of a redo here for Icey's second slot fill. This time we're looking at figure 655, max investment in HP, defensive second 2, FHP cure, FHP 50L, ultimate gauge down every turn. Second, we have another 655, and personally I think this is a good call, because while the other version is better for trying to get the max damage off with the ult, his redo here is not focused on that. And by the way, apologies, I actually ran his setup wrong from last time. I was supposed to put down both of the Gohans with Vados for the first 5 turns, and then worry about putting in Bardock. I was not aware of that part. I even double checked to make sure I was running the deck right over in the main channel that we talk about Hero Coliseum in. So unfortunately with me, I need to be told explicit instructions to make sure that I do something right. If you just assume that I'm going to be able to do it right and fine the first time, unfortunately that's not how I work. It's of no fault to anyone, it's just something that you need to be aware of with me. Like, I need instructions to make sure that, well, I run your slot fills and suggestions properly. So, apologies on behalf of myself. That aside, basically the same, except full investment into attack, and the only difference in character skill being STA up RT2. Next up we have 369, with attack up second 2, and ADM up second, with max investment in attack. Then we have EX60, Android 16, max investment in HP, very good call I would say. Defensive second 2, MHP cure, MHP 50L. And Toa, no Vados this time around, with attack up second, defense up second, and ultimate gauge on every turn. He told me to go ahead and do whatever with her stats and her character skills, so I did just that. And something that I want to go ahead and teach, not just Icey, but any players who are just getting into Hero Coliseum, if your unit has below 5,000 attack, then you're shooting yourself in the foot by putting on ADM up second above attack up second, because ADM up second is going to boost your attack by 20%. So let's say that you have a base attack stat of 5,000. If you were to put on ADM up second, I mean, there's really no difference between putting attack up second and ADM up second, but if it's anywhere above 5,000, let's say, just for the sake of example, you have 50-10 in your attack stat, ADM up second, you are going to be giving yourself 20% of 50-10. So that would be an additional 1,002 damage, which is not a big difference, mind you. But still, that's still more than what just a flat 1,000 would give you. Something to keep in mind. Apologies for getting off track a few times already. Jesus Christ, this is going to be a long one if I keep wasting time like this. Anyway, figure 350. Max investment in an attack. Attack up second, defensive second, ultimate gauge on every turn. With all that out of the way, sorry for wasting your folks' time like that. This time around, we're not trying to annihilate the opponent with max damage. We're just trying to do a really good, solid PvP SECP. And he told me to go ahead and lead with whichever Gohan I preferred. I'm going to go ahead and do the attack one, just in case, because I don't want anything to happen to this guy. I would rather be able to get this off if I can. So he suggested putting that down with 16 and the Broly. Let me look at their stats really quick, too. Okay, so he and I were actually talking about this earlier. Notice how Oob here is really the only problem? Like, say for example, I have Toa down on the field instead of the Broly right now. His attack's gonna get swapped with his speed. That's not really ideal. I'll be making him stronger. I want to get rid of the Oob first before I risk putting down the Toa. Personally, when I use Toa, I don't like taking any kind of risk with that. I don't want to make my enemy stronger at all if I can avoid it. Otherwise, if you want to play the RNG game, you can certainly put down the Toa if you feel like. Still a little bit congested, but thankfully I'm doing a lot better than I was a couple days ago. My 2 to 3 month long sickness came back a bit. I don't know if I caught a virus or something, but I could not stop sneezing 2 days ago. It was horrible. Like, I was sneezing so much, I was actually tearing up quite a bit. And then today, I had a similar issue, only instead of sneezing, it was hiccups. But thankfully, that didn't last anywhere near as long. It's not been a fun work week. I had to leave early a couple days ago, and I already had yesterday planned off. I'm really bummed out about yesterday. I was supposed to, because I had that planned off, to go to my cousin's luau. It's the last one she's throwing, like, ever, and I couldn't go. I needed to make sure I was healthy enough for work, and I didn't want to get anybody sick. It didn't feel like taking that risk, plus I had a few more work days ahead of me. So, I had to make a decision, and unfortunately that's the one I chose. That's all stuff outside of work, though. I mean, outside of YouTube, which I'm sure not many people care for, but just wanted to get that out. It's healthy to vent. A little bit groggy right now, too, if you couldn't hear. Thankfully, I've been taking... It's not really NyQuil. It's pretty much NyQuil, though, and it's really been helping me. Just to be on the safe side, too, I vacuumed around here. And I think that was a large contributor to why I couldn't stop sneezing. So I'm definitely going to be doing that a lot more often. It's also possible I might have developed allergies to something. Not sure what, but hopefully I get that figured out within the coming weeks. So much damage. Broly's not so. He's always been so good. Specifically for SEC teams. And you know what? I could put him down there. No coverage on the bottom right. That's somewhat of a bummer, but that's still very, you know, workable. And I'm actually going to take my chances and throw it on the Toa. Actually, you know what? Hold on a sec. He does have a front trigger. Let's actually just put down the Broly again. Okay, good. I made the right call. Because now Broly's going to hit all of them ridiculously hard. I don't know why I tried going first. Oopsie. Force of habit. Sometimes I forget, like, what kind of deck I'm dealing with, because I get so many Slothville requests. My bad. I'm still very pleasantly surprised that 16 got an EX, and he's very good. Only thing that you gotta watch out for is you like the definition of tank when putting him on the field. Specifically his EX, of course, because you are drawing in all that enemy attention away from your other units. Though I think Icey will be quite pleased at how 16 did this run. Hopefully, anyway. Because he still managed to come out, like, Barely, by the skin of his teeth. Let's see, how far in are we? It's a minute, so we'll do another one. Just for the hell of it, because otherwise that's going to be a really short one. We're going to test it. Against this asshole. Because why not? And in case I get any questions about how do I have the contest winners as loading screens, I'm on PC, we have tools. I will leave it at that. Let's see, is there anyone that goes in the back middle? 16, that's right, never mind. Who goes in the upper right again? Just him? Yet nobody else goes in the back middle except 16. And nobody else goes in the upper right except 16. Personally, I'd redo this, maybe, just a little. That's my personal playstyle speaking, though. I prefer to have coverage across the board. And flexibility. You know, we're actually going to put you down with the other Gohan. Not that one. There we go. Nah, that wouldn't really be smart. You know, this is probably a bad fight to do that with this deck, but we're going to try it anyway. Yeah, I don't really have much choice. Alright, I'm just going to pray for the best. We're already here, fuck it, I want to see what this deck can do against Gamma 2. Though this is no fault of mine or Icey's if the deck doesn't do very well against it, because let's face it, you can't really do anything against the Gamma 1 while he's there on the field like that. You just cannot touch him unless you're ulting, which kind of sucks. Or hitting him with a Spirit Bomb. And not having enough coverage on the right, it's like Icey gave me a deck that indirectly gets countered really hard by Gamma 2. In a way. I still wouldn't say it's that much of an issue, because we're not taking much damage at all, at the very least. So, we have that going for us. Okay, we're gonna do this for another turn. Because if I can get to a point where they have a lot more attack than speed on basically all their units, then I will gladly throw down the Toa. Same if I get an ult. Just throw her down. Because that is a huge heal. Oh dear. Unfortunately, I think 16's gonna bite it here. Rip. Yeah. Kinda hard to live when you have a unit that's ignoring all your defense like that. But at the very least, we can get rid of the Vegito here, which is a really huge threat. Seriously, that counterattack nonsense can go and eat a dick. Okay, now that we're on turn 3, it's safe to throw down the Broly. You know, let's try our luck here. And we'll put the Gohan down there just so we can take a bit of damage. And then hopefully I can get... I would potentially rework this. I mean, I get what you're going for. You want to have him on the field longer. But this can shaft. Like, this can get shafted by the heel. So just something to keep in mind. To me, if I'm using one or the other, it's only that. One or the other, not both. You can still run it this way. But you're not getting that counterattack if your unit's getting healed above the 50% threshold when you're trying to get lower to get one guaranteed counterattack. It can work, but, you know, just something to keep in mind. That was the whole reason I got rid of the healing on both my Gogeta and my Vegeta on my speed team. I didn't need the extra HP on them. I just needed that guaranteed counter to give my setup, you know, that much more oomph. This likely isn't doing anything to Gamma 1 either. Okay, yeah, I thought so. I wasn't sure if, like, the group attacks counted on him or not. The answer's that. Of course, 0. But hey, on the bright side, this deck did very beautifully against Gamma 2. In fact, I'll say this right now, it's struggling less than my own SEC deck would. Of course, my defensive setup does not have Gohan. Like, a Gohan at all. It's got the Toa, and that's where the similarities end. We'll go ahead and we'll run this. Yeah, nothing's happening to Gamma 1, but eh. Hopefully I can get an ult off and just end the fight with Broly. Gamma 1's stuck there anyhow, unless he moves. We can skip this. This is such a non-turn. Skip. Skip. And skip. I should have kept Toa there to hit the Master. Oopsie. Plus, I just realized I am swapping him back and forth constantly. Maybe I should just put the other Gohan back down. We can skip that. Not bad damage considering she's not supposed to be that much of a hard hitter. And we'll double check Gamma 1 as well before we take Toa off the field. Because I did neglect to check that. Kinda zoned out there, my bad. I should have skipped that. That's not doing anything. Alright, let's look at Gamma 1 real quick. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Let's put down the Gohan next. Of course, no Spirit Bomb, because I can't have nice things. I would very much enjoy seeing an anime adaptation of Gundam Seed Stray. You know, Stray Red and Blue, but that's never gonna happen. We're just gonna get very, very short OVA of them. And manga. Oh well. Seriously though, I highly recommend anyone who's like a fan of Seed to check out Stray. There's Logile and I think it's Guy Murakuma? I'd have to double check. I probably butchered the hell out of that name too, but they're seriously awesome characters. Their mechs are insanely badass too. Still no ultimate. Everyone keeps denying us. I'm legitimately about to say fuck it and just run Gohan off of his sugar square just to get this over with. Skip. That's not gonna do anything. Skip. Skip. Why did I skip the Gohan? I could have hit his master for a counterattack, maybe. Oh well. We'll finish it off this turn. I'm sorry about skipping turns, and normally I don't do that, but when we already know what's gonna happen, I don't think there's any point in watching it. It's just a huge waste of time. That's not doing any damage. Okay. We'll watch Gohan obliterate Gamma 2 now. Quote-unquote obliterate. I expected that to do more, but oh well. Alright, well that is just about going to do it for the redo for Icey's second slot fill. Personally, I think this deck turned out a lot better. You might want to rework it just a smidge if you're trying to get board coverage. But other than that, really solid. A lot of defense and survivability behind it. Even has some decent damage, I would say. Especially with the Broly. But that's a given, he's nuts. But anyhow, I think next time we come back to Hero Coliseum, we will get to a slot fill again very soon-ish, but I want to try something I've been meaning to give another attempt. And it involves Full Power Jiren, Whis, and Vados, so look forward to that. I'll see you guys then. I'm gonna go get some rest here. Peace out.